Hi everyone, we're back for another Gridiron Hub Live. I'm joined by a few guests today, and I'll get them to introduce them in a minute. But quickly say hello, guys. So this one's interesting. I'm actually standing in for Will Ellis. He was supposed to be doing this hosting, but he got the Rona, so has to take the night off. Although I've got him sharing the link and everything, so he's around in spirit. But this one I'm quite interested in. I suppose I'm going in quite blind, really, because I was asked, I think, a couple of days ago. I don't know much about the things that we're going to be talking about, which is maybe good, maybe bad, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. So, Mike, you and I were on a live stream recently, weren't we? The mental health one that they ran on Brickballing with Mike. How do you say his surname? Magui. Yeah. But other than that, and obviously connecting on Facebook and seeing your world tour recently. Yeah. So where are you now, actually? By the way,
still Florida. Yeah.
Still Florida. Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks awesome. But but certainly Neale and Gareth or Tish, we haven't met before, and I'm quite looking forward to sort of I don't know what to expect. From our little private chat, I'm expecting this to be quite funny, quite high energy, and looking forward to it. But if you guys just very quickly just go around and quickly introduce yourselves, and then what I'll do is we'll get into understand a little bit more about your past. But Mike, we'll start with you, mate, because I want to, and away you go.
Fair enough. I like that because I'm Mike Island. I've played at Chester, Holton, the Mighty Razorbacks of Northern Ireland, and the Thunder and Herd, and that's kind of basically it. And I've piddled about with all sorts of bits and pieces to do with football. So, yeah. And I met these guys at a charity match in where was it? I want to say
Lincoln. No, it was Nottingham. It was Nottingham where we met, was it not?
Tish looked at me lovingly and came up to me and said, "Hey, you, how much can you squat? I can squat 200." And I went, "That's it. We're going to be friends forever."
How long ago was that you guys?
That was about 2013, 2013. Something like that.
Oh, Jesus. Man.
It was just the fact that this fella is opening line was that. I was like, "You'll do for me, mate. We'll be friends. That'll be all right." And ever since then, I kept in touch. And then Nelbert said, "Do you want to come to Iceland to have a bit of a game?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And so we all met up together again. And effectively, we do this a lot, but with a lot more beer. So effectively, this is just like a pub. It's great. That's about it. Yeah, and now we're organising a charity game that Nellie's not allowed to talk about for legal reasons.
I want to get into that one as well. Talk about the charity game because there was I actually had to write an article of it. I'm sure you've read it because there was some controversy or confusion over the whole Team USA, Team Europe thing. So I'm looking forward to getting into that briefly. But yeah, appreciate that, Mike. Tish, let's hear from you, mate. Who are you?
Well, Mike. Well, I'm just Gareth Tish and I play American football, or at least kind of I try to and attempt to a below average standard at best. I'm not going to get into the story of how we all met each other because that's not what it was about. Mike, or the Schmeider Cup, Mike. That's what we're going to do later on, Mike. But no, you know what? I met these two other clowns randomly, and yeah, I don't know. They're some of my best friends because I'm a bit of a-hole, and they love me for it and they accept me for it, and that's quite a rare thing to have, Steve. I'm sure you probably know because you're amusing in your own way, but you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Who you are? I have these two. So anyway, let's move on to Nelly, the real deal, the big man, the man of the moment, Neale McMaster. Sorry, Steve, that was your job. My apologies.
No, appreciate it. Teeing him up. Over to you, Neale.
So,
Don't blow it, Ellie. Don't blow it.
I played football for a few years. Played East Kilbride Pirates.
Heard of it before.
Moved down to England to play with the Blue Raiders. That ended my career fairly quickly with that. And then I was at that time I was more built for the Prem, not Div 2, and it just it didn't really work out.
You were too good for us, pal. I tell you that.
Well, I started coaching once it finished playing, and then through I don't know really. I just kind of like chance my arm and apply for things, and now I'm the GB head coach for the under-19 team.
Under-19s head coach.
Yeah, I said under-19s, all right.
No, you didn't. You said GB head coach. What you said.
But then I brought the under-19s in after it.
You did not, did you? This is why we're also good friends, because all we do is do this to each other all the time.
And if I remember right there, like Neale, that's a role you've fairly recently taken up, because I can remember us posting about that when you got the position. Am I like in the last 6 months or so? Is that right? Am I,
no,
or is it? Am I fast forward in time because of coronavirus?
Well, fast forward, and it was last summer.
Yeah. Oh, was it last?
Yeah, it was like last August, I think, July, August.
Oh, was it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Since then, he signed Marcus Russell. He signed a few other really top tier talented players, like you just missed out on.
Yeah. How many of them have you had before he came on?
Not enough, mate. Not enough.
No.
Look how you've done your hair as well. Like, your hair's never that neat.
It had to be. We're on TV, Ellie. We're on TV.
That was the old spitting hanky, wasn't it?
Kind of top as well, like.
Steve, we know it was last summer because we had to make sure that there was a handover between Nelly and his wife for the Herd head coach for Budapest.
Yeah. So there is like...
Is that what happened?
Can I just, before this goes on, right, can I just say, yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for talented players like here at GB under-19 team.
I have done a lot of things in the past, and in the role I'm in now, there are things I can't be involved in because they are not endorsed by BAFA. So, like the Schneider Cup, for example, that doesn't mean I don't agree with it, like why it's going ahead. You know, the whole mental health things are brilliant.
What other things like refunds? No, sorry.
I'm not BAFA, right?
I was joking.
So yeah, like it's not. I wasn't involved with the Herd. I did start up with Herd. All that stuff. BAFA are fully aware that I'd done. He's come back in Australia now. Yeah, there are some things that I'm not allowed to be involved in, and that, you know, which I think is fair.
It's a good idea, to be honest with you. If you're involved doing things, you've ruined them, so you're better off not.
Exactly.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, just ruin GB19s. That's fine."
Well, we've not played a game yet. If you look at my record against Valley, that was good enough. So surely we'll ruin that and all.
Nelly, you will know. You are a great coach, and you will lead them to the future, mate. I have nothing but the utmost respect and trust in you.
We believe in you, Nelly.
Hold on, what's going on?
No. I'm one of your closest friends, although you try and refuse to believe that. But yeah, mate, I back you genuinely. I think you're one of the best things for Great Britain under-19s, and I won't slate you in this podcast because
thank you.
It would be the wrong thing to do. And I love you in a loose way.
I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah.
Mate, it's not a job, it's a flipping hobby. A job pays you. A hobby is where you turn up, you do what you do.
All right. Yeah, okay.
So you got a bit of love there, Tish, for your wardrobe change.
But that, I suspect...
Paige, I've just began.
There's another two coming.
Exactly. Oh, he's ruining the surprise of it all. Look at him sat there like the games master.
Steve,
So, right.
Knows is We say nice things to Nelly. He feels good about it. Then Tish comes in and gittles it, and we go, oh.
But
So
Tish is
I'm
delightful.
interested in hearing your like actually how you got into the sport, like your actual stories of where did you hear about it? Why did you start with whatever team or so? Tish, let's start with you, mate. Why are you involved in American football? How did that start for you?
Steve, I was 24 stone. I was a 44-inch waist kind of guy in uni, and I was signed up to play rugby, and I was a loose head prop. I was a tight end. I did both, to be honest with you. Because of the size I was good enough to fill in. And I played, and then after that, when uni finished, I went down to Stevenage, and I played for the Stevenage rugby team. And then one night out and a few drinks, one of the guys came up to me and went, "Oh, mate, I hear you're Tish. I hear you like American football," because I played the Madden video games back in the day with Michael Vick. MD who's a bit older would know Michael Vick was a big deal back then. And they were like, "Why don't you come try American football?" And I tried it. I played D-line for the Bedford Blue Raiders, is who I was signed up to play for. And I loved it. I genuinely loved it. I thought it was a great game.
Did you play when they had that awful kit?
Oh, yes, that Vegas Gold
Pan,
my friend. Yes, I did, pal. Oh, yes. I had the UCLA colour. I had the Vegas Gold Pan. Then I had the change. Then I went through the dark blue, where you all gave it the big chat, and then it looked better, and then you all backed off a little bit. But the problem was,
it was awful.
We were still shite. No, we were rubbish. We were not a very good football team. We beat the Maidstone Pumas on the 80-yard field, and we beat a few other teams, the Milton Keynes Pathfinders, before they became really good, and all the rest. Then Nelly came in and shined a light in our lives, and everything else changed. But between that and then, I was playing D tackle, and I chased a Chilton cheater down on a sweep as a D lineman, and I get told afterwards you should play linebacker. I played linebacker, and I got shown up by Ed or Mike Gokar. I can still not remember the name, but it was one of the Gokar brothers who were amazing for the Mavericks. I came off the field. I wanted to cry. I then get told by the special teams coordinator I would never be a linebacker. I wanted to quit. I was that close, and then every other teammate talked me through it and said, no, mate, you can be better if you just focus. I focused and became a half-decent, average linebacker, and that's where I kind of ended up in football, basically.
Were you interior or exterior linebacker?
Oh, I'm interior. As Nelly would explain to you, I tackle with my chin. Head up, mate. I tell you what, is your concussion?
It's not head up. It's not head up. Head up still means you use your shoulders. You just go on chin first. You'd be the worst boxer in the world.
I killed a lot of people doing it, Nelly, though, didn't I?
So actually, getting into the sport was actually a transition at uni level from rugby, and someone approaching you.
The saddest thing about rugby was that I played a game of pickup, just silly, daft, touch and go in summer, and the local team started making a joke about a guy who was deaf and dumb, and the joke was, "Well, he can't hear you, Glenn. Dave, can I get the ball? Oh, he can't hear me. Ha 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 ha." Like, that's not funny. And I was like, anyone that knows me, these two boys, plus probably yourself, Steve, after this, will know that I will abuse anyone for anything. And I like a joke, but as long as the person you're abusing understands the joke and is in on the joke, outside of that, you're picking on someone, and that's not right. So after that, I walked away, and that's kind of where I ended up after that. Like, I don't mind picking on someone or taking the mick out of someone, the mick or the piss, whatever. But they have to know the joke's there so they can come back. Otherwise, it's not right, man. That's where I'm. That's what I was brought up. I would never pick on someone. Well,
fair enough.
But I would pick on somebody, but you have to know.
And so, what was the first team you played for then? Was it a uni team?
Bedford Blue Raiders.
Was it the Bedford Blue Raiders? Okay, cool.
Cool. I went straight into the bottom level of Division 2.
Yeah. That must have been fun. Did you
I've
play?
been there ever since.
That's not true.
Are you still playing now? Are you like what's your involvement in the game lately? Have you moved into coaching?
That's a funny story. That's a funny story. Like I'm technically involved with the Ouse Valley Eagles. Still, It's my home team. Neale took them, ruined them, burst it, destroyed it. No, he didn't. Neale actually was amazing, to be honest with you. Neale actually made us all see what the future was in football, which is, as much as I want to write my good friend, he is a very intelligent man when it comes to football.
Yeah.
Don't let him game plan, for Christ's sake, please. But I only messed about. But
the season of 14 playbook.
800 million variations of one pass play or one run play. I will say this before we move on. The first man to come up with the run pass option, the RPO, before the Akron superstars came over and told us, Rich Wasall, superstar, Oscar Rodriguez came over and taught us. Neale was the first one to install it. He learned it off them. He was the first one to install it in the UK, and everybody else followed his suit. So as much as I hate him, want to ride him, he was the first man to bring it over here. But Oscar and Rich helped us out, and they are superstars. And they are some of the leading lights of this game. Oscar's American, Rich is technically English. So, but you know what I mean when I'm saying that.
It should be noted here that whilst we installed it, we never ran it right.
That's because you didn't coach it properly.
Which is the story that we done in Ouse Valley. We installed it and then never ran it properly.
See how he goes at that, he goes, issue.
Mike, over to you, mate. Tell us about your introduction to the sport and involvement with it. I mean,
when I started, 23, decided to have a look at. Basically, it was the Chester Romans who played at Chester Rugby Club. I turned up. It was 2005, and I saw a load of folks. I'd only ever been exposed to rugby. A load of folk knocking absolute crap out of each other. When there were folk wasn't even looking what was happening. There was someone snotted him, and I thought that looks well fun. Came back in 2006, had a little run out at D tackle. The next year, someone called Will Sargent said, "Now we need you on the O line," and that's where I have lived ever since. Cheers, Tish. Yeah, and it's just been offensive line all the way. Absolutely adored my time with the Romans. I did a 5-year stint, and I only wanted to do 5 years as general manager.
right.
I think we started off with a ice cream box with a receipt that said Rory on it, 40 quid, and like 80 quid in the tin, nothing else. And we kind of built it into something that was worthwhile. Then after I left, there was a slight change of management, and I was like, cool, right, well, that's fair enough, because my big thing was to try and include everyone, make everyone friendly, make it a family-run team, all that sort of stuff. Everyone knew everybody, and then it turned into something. I promised these guys I wouldn't like kind of smack them.
It sounds like there's something you've got some resentment for, actually. Just hearing you talk about it, there's a tone to your speech, and the rhetoric is like you don't like the way it went. It sounds like
I turned up after my fight. Well, I think I was there for something like 11, 12 years. I turned up, and apparently because it was their playoffs, they went on to the final. I think it was 2018, and I turned up, and apparently, whether it's true or not, the head coach said, "Don't speak to him. Just walk straight past him." And I was like, "These are all my pals. I've been playing with them. Don't speak to them."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "All right, lads. Sorry, can't talk to you." So I was like, "Sod you then." So I followed my good mate, Si Wainwright, who's an absolute legend, over to Holton, and we had a rip-roaring season and went to the final ourselves. And this year I was made aware of a team over in Belfast, the mighty Razorbacks, go Hogs. And I thought I'd go and give them a bit of a hand, because I've got loads of experience and all sorts of crap. I thought I'd lend a hand there, because they're brand new. And so with working at the airport, I can fly EasyJet out in the morning and back again. And so I go and do my bit. and that's pretty much where I am. And in between all that, met with this guy and wherever Tish has gone, and we did the thing.
I hope he stays wherever he's gone.
I have absolutely no idea, but Tish he's a liability, but he's out.
When does Tish just come out?
Like, that is a very real possibility.
I think that's what I'm preparing myself for now.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's probably off to Barnard Castle.
Yeah.
Boom. But so that's kind of where I'm up to. I love the game, and I'll do anything for anyone, including kind of putting on a big no-need charity game. This is my fourth, and it's
I'm really interested in hearing about that and the history of it, because obviously you know that I know Will Ellis. He's involved heavily in Gridiron Hub now, and he obviously he's given me more information about the history of the Schmider Cup, and that there were different incantations of it, like a Marvel versus DC, I think he said. Yeah, so I'm interested in hearing that stuff. I don't want to put words into your mouth, so we'll definitely come back to that, because I want to sort of hear like how it's grown. That's really the story I want to focus on.
Yeah,
and then obviously the herd one. Simon Wainwright said, "Big hugs for you, mate."
Love you, Si.
And then Neil Harold said, "Mike Ireland, all D-line are just really O-line who haven't realised it yet."
This is correct.
Cool. So thank you for that, mate. Neil, over to you, mate. Just like, again, overview of you, like your introduction. I'm really interested in how, what sparked your interest in the sport to get involved in it.
Why do you want to ruin it, Nelly? Why?
You're on sitting down theme song now. But you just sit down and it goes, ah. That's it, fix the hair. That's the important bit. that was all my problem. Actually, was a guy. I started off. I was a guy who I played rugby with, Robert Beveridge. He phoned me actually, like out the blue, and said, "Do you want to come and play American football? Give it a try this next Sunday." So as opposed to the Saturdays for the rugby, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a bash." Turned up, and there was just all these guys like. Duck was the coach at the time, so like he's a fairly well-known coach in Scotland. Coached GB adults for a long time as a defensive coordinator. Lee Collins, Gary Clark, Rab Beveridge as well, he was like the youngest player to ever play for Great Britain. I think he went to like Finland, something like that. It was one of the tournaments, one of the GB, when he was, I think he'd just turned 18 at the time. I grew up with all these guys and started playing then. Played with EKP, was involved in the committee for a bit, helped coach the first youth team up there. Just like, I don't know, the football was never really the main thing for me. I just liked everything else that was round about it. So like the rugby stuff I grew up with when I was at uni, it was all cream chinos and tweed jackets type guys. My accent didn't fit at our uni anyway.
Nelly, that's what you wear now. That's your favourite thing, tweed.
Oh yeah, but that's because I love the countryside now. That's why I can get away with it. When I was in Scotland, I'm from the city, whereas down here, I'm in the country. It's fine. It wasn't really my thing. So I just enjoyed football more. The type of people it was more representative of who I was and where I was from, and it's had a laugh. Like the upside to playing with the EKP boys is you get to know those guys really well, because you've got down to Tamworth 7 hours on the bus and back, so that's 14 hours on a bus a day. Our closest game for years was Gateshead, which is 2 and a bit hours on the bus. That was the closest game, and then I come down to Blue Raiders, and guys are moaning about getting the bus to Colchester, which is an hour and a half away. I'm like, honestly, still my number one gripe in Britball now. People from south of Birmingham who moan to spend 3 hours on a bus. Like, come on, man. It just proper rips my knit in that. It really does.
Well, not everyone lives in the middle of nowhere, mate.
The one back when we beat Leicester in the final, we had a 9-hour bus trip overnight back home, and then there was people still had work, so we got back in at like 8 a.m. something like that the next morning, blazing, absolutely blazing, and people are getting picked up and dropped off at work. You're like, I don't know how you've managed that, but that must have been the longest day in the world.
Tell you the highlight of that. Tell you the highlight of that whole game.
You got an echo. Are you watching it?
Declaration of this, but there we go. Was the handoff where Sparky handed it off to your running back, and he's going in.
Running back.
Guy Kersey took a cheap shot on the quarterback. He whacked him, right? And then as the touch went in, the quarterback went in his face, and that was one of the prettiest things I've ever seen. Like, anyone's going to cheap shot a quarterback on a fucking option needs to be taught. That.
Yeah, it was like, we talked about that on the sideline. That was a good
I love that, and I didn't even know you boys at that time.
Ryan Hunter is the man.
He was the boy, wasn't he?
He was just the man. How he never played professional is beyond me.
Oh, jokes.
One of the best players I've ever seen.
Can't do that for a second.
Liam McAnally said that you're sponsored by Kleenex. Is that some in-joke that we don't get? I'm guessing it is. Oh, okay.
It's nearly this out, obviously. So
yeah, cool. Thanks guys for sharing your like how you got into the sport. So obviously what I'm quite keen to understand or hear about. Let's start with Thundering Herd, because I find that quite fascinating. Where did the idea come from? You know, how would you even describe it for those that don't know what it is? First of all,
does censorship at this point?
I can take it. It's all right.
Are you allowed to talk about this now?
Yeah. Because I've done it. I can't hide it. I did set it up.
Good.
Nice topic. Thundering Herd of them. Love it.
Yeah, that's the only one I've got. I didn't have much time to write any puns.
It started off. I read an article from website AFI, American Football International.
Yeah, run by Roger.
And they put out a thing about a team in Iceland, in Reykjavik, wanting to play games. They wanted an 11-on-11 game, and they showed some highlights of I think they played like, is it the Aalborg 86ers or something like that, in an 8-on-8 game. And I was like, I was head coach at Ouse Valley at the time. I was like, this would be a great thing to do as like a team trip. Just, go and help out Iceland, like that team, and help them play football and grow the sport over there. But more importantly, I can go to Reykjavik and claim it's for good reasons, but really I just wanted to go to Reykjavik. 2, we can play some football, which is always fun. And 3, I can get my mates along. And that was really the gist of it, was let's just go and play. So we went, as is always the case with every Britball team ever, I suggested the idea, and we had like 80 people sign up. They're like, yeah, I want to do it. I can't wait to go. I'm all in. And then you're like, right, it's going to cost you, the flights are like 200 quid. The hotel's 80 quid, and I need that paid, within the next 2 months. And then all of a sudden the numbers drop to 20.
That hotel.
And you're like, Hey?
I was gutted. The hotel was like prison, and then he said, you can go on the top bunk. I was like, thanks, nice one. Just because I got into your room late. You're up there, dickhead. Yeah, cheers.
So there was
80 quid.
There was a lot of stuff went on. So we turned up, like, for what it's worth, right? And just to explain about them, they are an incredible team. Like, they have really no one to play. They pay for people to go and play them. So we turned up and they'd put on a bus. So the bus picked us up at the airport, took us to the hostel. They'd paid for one night at the hostel. So we stayed for 2 nights. We only had to pay for one. Like, just the fact that they do that, I think, is incredible. So fair play to them. Like, I'd love to go back, and it's when I was involved in the herd, it was always part of the plan to go back in like the 5th anniversary or something. But yeah, so we turn up there, arrive at the hostel. Tish has had a couple of jars at this point, let's say. Rather merry, and their QB who organises everything's there. A guy called Bear I can't remember his second name, but he's a really good QB. Played about in Sweden, played
he's
about
all right,
in a few other countries, but got banned for some substance abuse issues, shall we say.
Alleged.
Performance enhancing or recreational.
Yeah, and
Alleged.
Tish comes up in the middle of this hostel that we are trying to get booked into, and basically just screams at the guy, "Are you the guy that snorted coke on the sideline?" Tish. Like, the guy sat there with his girlfriend next to him who knows nothing about anything, and Tish is just like shouting in his face, giving him a hug. This guy doesn't know him from anyone, and we're all stood there like, get him out.
Do you play football? Nick, do you play football, mate? Mind games, pal. Mind games.
It's taken you 5 years to come up with that. It was, what a disaster that was. Then we all piled into different rooms. The Scottish boys had been there for about 4 hours, so they were already, 3 or 4 bottles of Buckfast and a bottle of rum in. By the time we arrived, 2 guys went to a strip club. Apparently, was it 250 quid a dance in Iceland? Just
if you got a British accent.
Bargain.
Yeah, well, like there was very different stories. So someone came back with that story about the strip club, and I was just outraged that I had to pay 9 quid for some chocolate raisins.
Oh, it was expensive. Yeah,
Like it was, wasn't it? I was
Raspberry for 15 quid, but you wouldn't fucking know that. Like, don't worry about that.
I just got to get loose quickly.
My husband would die, boys. Like,
Tish.
So
I'll go back in a minute, all right? I think my phone might die in a second.
just before you go on, I feel like there's so much to tell about this story. You've not even got to the game yet, but where did the name Thunder in Herd come from? What like who picked that? How did you pick it?
I said you had to sort of honour Nelly a little bit, and it was kind of, let's do something around your name. And he said,
was that genuinely it? Because I thought that, obviously yesterday when we were talking, I thought, oh, maybe that's the connection. But is that right? It was actually named after you.
Yeah, but it was Mike had done it. It kind of just came up naturally, and I think because we'd stuck with the Ouse Valley name first because it was meant to be an Ouse Valley trip. So when we went to Iceland, we were called the Ouse Valley Exiles. Nothing to do with Kent Exiles, just like Exiles as in like, like a rugby team that played.
Do you know what? I can remember that. Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
So and there were various options about what names we were going to go down with, but we stuck with that. And then, when we went the second year, because the first year went really well, and then the Icelandic team played a team in Magaluf in Spain. We were like, come on, we've got to take the boys to Magaluf for a weekend. That'd be magic. So we went there the second year, and we were just like, we need to have it. This is obviously going to become an annual thing. There were so many people interested in it. So I think the first year we got maybe 120, 130 applicants. Second year was like 300 odd. This year, I think Katie said it was up to about 500 odd. She got in. And like she's, her and Mike are doing it now, but like they're expecting way more from now on to make it bigger.
So let's say 300 players apply for the Herd, and maybe Mike, this is a question you can answer as well. How do you pick who plays?
It's a secret of algorithms and putting people in the right position at the right time, and it's all to do with science. Cool.
So there's nothing. So it's not. You can pay me first. You've got a place. Are people selected actually? So when they apply, is it like you get told, yes, you've been accepted to play, sort of thing? Is that how it works?
We went to a company and we asked them to create us a software package. And what we do is we put the names in, all their stats and all their other bits and pieces. and then what the software does is processes the best fits for the team, and they're the ones that get selected.
I think Mike has obfuscated his way around this question very well.
It's a closely guarded secret how people get selected.
Is it? Right, okay, I didn't realise that. Simon's maybe let on here a little bit that he bribed you with a Twix, and also that you get bribed with Freddos. Now, actually, that follows what Chrissy's saying there, based on a conversation we had earlier about where he offered to purchase some Freddos, but I can't go into that, but for obvious reasons.
Yeah, but
you get a lot of love here, Mike. It's nice.
I try my best.
He's a lovable guy. Like he is. Mike, like a lot of people only know Mike through like organising the charity games and stuff. But Mike is the most lovable guy in the whole of Britball. He is like a little Labrador that just kind of comes along. Or what was it we said? Was it a quokka? Was that the animal? Like there's a little thing, an animal called a quokka, and it is just looks like Mike. It is the cutest little thing ever, and you can just imagine him coming along like so excited.
What is it?
Have a look.
What's it called?
It's
Quokka. Quokka.
Is this like a New Zealand thing?
Yeah, I don't know where it's from, but it just looks like Mike.
Let me share the pictures.
Because all that basically happened, because back when Neale was allowed to be part of the Thundering Herd, it was all named after and all. I'd come up and say, "How's about we do this?" And he'd go, "No." "How's about we do this?" "No." "How's about we do this?" "Hey, it's me."
That top, the second picture in that.
This one, or this one.
That's the one. That's just him.
Cool. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So, but that was the thing. Is I just keep going. How's about? And then eventually he'd cave and go, "Right, fine, we'll do that one thing." And I'll say, "Smash him," and I just run with it. But yeah, it's like I said at the start, I'm just keen to get involved and do absolutely anything. So yeah.
So when you were saying just then, Neale, that there's like now 800 applicants, that's for Thundering Herd, or is that for this Schmeider Cup thing? Are you still talking Thundering Herd?
Yeah, the last involvement I had with the Thundering Herd, and obviously like Katie doesn't run about the house, so I get to see bits and bobs. I'm not. And I still went. It's still a holiday for me with all my mates. So like that's not I still go on them because my wife goes and all my friends go, and I don't think that's anyone's expecting me not to go. But it was 500 for the herd the last time, and I think she was saying they're expecting more the next time. I legitimately have no involvement. Mike stitched me up with a Schmeider Cup stuff a little bit. He was like, go on, play. And I was like, I really don't want to play. He's like, go on, I'll be fine. I'll help you. I'll be good for you. Get some exercise. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll play. Mike announced it, and then people in Bafa started phoning me saying, why are you part of this? And I was like, all right, okay, Mike, I can't play.
Right, okay.
Pull me out. So yeah, it was just, but notice he hasn't still taken my name off it.
Nellie's not allowed to be involved with fun things anymore.
So, am I right in saying that the Herd only play abroad? Oh, sorry, Mike. What was that?
Someone in Bafa said Nellie's not allowed to be involved with fun things anymore. He's got to be serious for the good of the children. What would the children think if he was involved in some stupid ass charity game?
But the Herd don't play games to raise money for charity, do they? That's just like a exhibition type games. And are they all abroad? Are they all overseas, or have you played any? I don't think you've played any on UK soil, have you?
It was It was set up as a way of just making football fun again. So, like more specifically, the second game, and when we were dealing with the third game before Katie took over, like it's just a way of having fun because there's so many people don't play GB either because they're not good enough or because they don't want to get involved. Like the Herd's just, you turn up, we have one practice, then we go and play a game. Like that's it, and it's all about the one thing it's been really good at is taking people from wildly different backgrounds and like throwing them into a field and saying go play football together. So you get the Irish boys over. You get, I mean, we had a guy who played at Ouse Valley, but he's American and lives in America, so he flew over for the last game and played. So you end up with guys like Addy from the Warriors, who comes in, he's like the best defensive tackle in Britain, just destroying people. And then next behind him, you've got Tish, who is not the best at anything in Brit Ball.
Oh!
He's lovable. I love Tish, but let's be honest. He's not
We've lost him off of the broadcast. I don't know where he might join. No one knows, but he might come back in. He's welcome to, obviously. I didn't get rid of him just to get that on record.
Everybody turn up at your house. It's Tish.
Yeah.
Up in the background. Hey,
yeah.
He walks in here and comes and stands behind me.
Yeah. No pants. No. He's travelled. No duds. He just turns.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised. So the Thunder and Herd have got a logo. They've got a kit that I've seen that I know of. Again, I don't know loads about it. Is that where you started? Did you have the kit for that first game, or is that something that's come later, like in the logo? Like, how did all that come about? Like the branding side of it and the identity
came about after the name. So Mike came up with the name, and then we were like, "Oh, this is brilliant." And then I think I was at work, and then all of a sudden, Mike's just pinging me through all these ideas for logos and stuff. I'm like, I can't give me 5 minutes here to do something. But just 14 logos later, and then I pulled one, started arsing about on Photoshop, and made the Herd logo that it is now. It wasn't the first one. I think there was a couple more that we tried and thought of, but we went with that. We went with the colours of white and gold, just because I really like them. That was it. And that was basically the jerseys came. One of the guys who came to Spain with us knows the guy who runs Alpha.
Oh, okay.
He was like I'll hook you up with him and you can have a chat and see what you can do. So we spoke about it. No one's claiming that this is anything other than what it is. So I think the jerseys were like 35, 38 quid a jersey. Mm-hmm. We told the players that. The players were like, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll get our own jersey. So you get your own jersey with your name on it and your own whatever number you want, really. We're not that fussy. I don't think we've got duplicate. Well, I didn't want duplicates. They might want to run it differently, but it was just let's go and get some jerseys. Wear whatever helmet you want. Wear whatever game pants. I mean, I wanted them to be white, but see what they do now. It was just
They mostly are all white, and folks, they're starting to buy into wearing a white lid as well. It's looking a lot more.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Does there exist any Thunder and Herd lids out there with decals on them?
Mike's got one.
I got the decals made up, so there are decals.
Yeah?
You have to buy your own lid. Sorry.
There's a full merch store. Mike got a merch store set out. Like, Ollie's got a point here, right? So when Ollie says the jerseys are super tight, what he means is he ordered a medium when he meant to order a 3XL. So he had to cut the sides of it on game day just to get into it.
Oh, brilliant!
It was ridiculous.
Kids trying to get.
I can't find your. I can't find your merch shop.
It's Fabprint is going under because everything's been shut down through to the Rona. They're doing all their bits and the rebrand and all that, but that will be back online, and you get absolutely.
Okay. Well, let us know when it is because I'll whack it on Gridiron Up for everyone. Maybe get you a couple. I might. Do you know what? I might even buy a hoodie. Who knows?
Hey.
Who knows? Only if you let me in. Right. I'm not joking.
We'll chuck you in the algorithm. We'll see what comes out.
Yeah. I wouldn't get past the first step. But okay, cool. So cheers for that. And so, is there any connection between that Thunder and Herd activity and this charitable stuff that started up as well. Is it? Are they related in any way? Is there any? Is it, or is it just the same people that run them and that's all it is? There's no like castaway or anything like that with it.
In fairness, Mike asked me fairly early on last year, can I use the Thunder and Herd to play a charity game? And like, I was a bit of a Debbie Downer about the whole thing, and I was like, no, as is my way. Like, I am the polar opposite to Mike. Whereas he's like, everything can work, we can get everything done. I was like, no, you'll get 4 people that'll turn up and that'll be it. So I told him not to use the Herd, and then Mike's scuttled away and made the biggest thing in Brittle.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that wasn't last year, was it? Because Mike, if I know this rightly from Will, there was a couple of years of other charity things, right? Like
it started.
Talk that through. How did that happen?
Right, 2030. Well, this is all while I was at the GM of the Romans. I thought, right, let's do something that people can get interested in and get involved in. And we raise a few quid for mental health charities. So we did, what was it, the East versus West Bowl, Marvel versus DC, and the Star Wars, and there was another one that I can't remember. But the whole thing was it gave people, because Brit Ball can be quite serious, but if you make something up that's a little bit silly, but it's still football, people love it. So I put on a few other games. There was like, I don't know, 50, 60 lads that turned up, including your man here on one of them, on his wedding, which cost him flowers. Sorry. But yeah, and so we've carried it on. And then this year I had a year out, 1 year, 2 years, 1 year out. After my my emotional breakup with the Chester Romans. And then I thought, stuff it, I'm going to do it in the same place that the Romans play at. So I spoke to your man that did it all before, chap called Andrew Chandler, who I've known since he was brand new, and he's now the gaffer. I just said, any chance I can put on a game? And he went, yeah, of course, yeah, it's a charity game. Yeah, go for it. You can have it for free. So we went for it. So I opened it up back when everyone was feeling a bit miserable. And I said, right, the Brit Ball season's knackered, but hopefully by October we might be able to get a bit of a game going. So we're going to call this. And it's not, the idea was it was Europe versus USA, because if you put a theme in it, it's a lot more fun. So instead of the Ryder Cup, it's the Schmeider Cup. Yeah. And I figured we'd get maybe 20 blokes aside. We'll go for a game of pub golf afterwards. We'll all get drunky. It'll be a bit of a laugh. Then it went off. I banged it up in the Thunder and Herd group and said, anyone fancy it? And they all went, yes. I was like, oh, geez, all right. And then I banged it up on various bits and pieces. And, you know yourself, you have to do this thing of, it's not Team Europe or Team USA.
Yeah, because it got negative attention because of it, right? Like, and I can remember people. So running Gridiron Hub, we get people sending stuff our way, messages or inbox messages, sometimes WhatsApp or whatever. And this one got sent to us, and it was like, from the point of view of it was like, these guys are like scammers, like they're trying to pretend to be Team USA that are playing a never before existent Team Europe. And I was like, oh God, okay, let's have a look at this. So that was like the preface that I had, right? That I then went in to look at it. I searched for Schmeider Cup. I thought, hold on, it's called Schmeider Cup. And like I saw, like bells were starting to go off anyway, but I thought, let's just see. I did one search on Facebook. I went onto your page. I scrolled down maybe 6 posts, and there were within those 6 posts probably 3 videos from you saying this is what's happened. But like, it couldn't have been clearer. You couldn't have been more open about it. And I was like, that's the story we're going to tell, right? Like, and I didn't even contact you because I was like, we don't. The information's in public. People are like, it's like witch hunt mentality, like, oh, because I misinterpreted it as being Team USA, everyone else is going to. But they're not everyone else is going to. All you need to do is do a quick search to a fact check. Anyone that fact checked that would have seen that you were being complete, and that was. And I assume you've seen the article that I wrote, but I wanted to sort of paint the picture of like what people had seen, and then there's no cause of concern. This is a good thing. Stop moaning about it, sort of thing. Because that I can imagine that being really frustrating for you, because I imagine you didn't get it with the Sith one or any other ones, right? Or the Marvel one. But with this one, you got this sort of there's something going wrong here. There's something dodgy here. But you're trying to, in your head, you're just trying to create a game that is playable when football isn't playable, or people are probably going to have a reduced season. But two, it's actually for a charitable cause, right? So you must have. If that was me, I'd have been losing it, right? My videos wouldn't have been as nice as yours. But talk to us about that. Like how did it make you feel, that stuff, and how did you deal with it?
Frustration, massive frustration, because you're there, you're going, no, serious. Every so often, you'd have to. Put it this way. The wonderful Craig Owen created team sheets, and at the bottom of it said there are more Americans that are, on the moon than there are in this game or something. And we had to do stuff like that. And in the end, you're trying to bite your tongue. You don't want to start posting it, but you're like, it's a charity game. It's of a laugh. Calm yourselves down. And folk are like, well, clearly it's not. There's no Australians in this. Yeah, they're flying over. Yeah. And it's, you just sort of like, why are you so bothered? If you don't want to play, don't play. It's not hard, but it's just so frustrating. So
there were a lot of videos that Mike created that didn't make it out.
Yeah. Is that the ones that we see are the ones that are vetted, are they? And everyone's approved.
Well,
fair enough.
Because he's me, so we obviously we talk pretty much every day. So this gets brought up quite a bit. So obviously, as soon as the comments started going, like he's on the messenger to me, like just blowing up. And then I think after he'd kind of outraged a little bit. He bloviated a little bit. He went back and made the videos that were a bit clearer.
Yeah. Also, so this is. I just want to get through these last few comments because they're all everyone's kicked off now because of what you've said, which is quite funny. All tongue in cheek, all good.
Oh yeah.
Funny comments. No one kicking off at you, obviously.
Oh God.
But yeah, the one thing. So this to me is actually indicative of a wider thing that I've noticed in Britball or American football in the UK. Right, is that everyone seems to feel that they need to themselves sanction everything that goes on in the sport. If it's not insured by BAFA's insurance, then it can't be insured. But then on the same, so in the same sentence or 2 days later, those same people saying BAFA's insurance is ridiculous. It doesn't cover anything, right? And I find I come across this stuff all the time. And I actually had a meeting with Pete Ackley the other day. Me and him were chatting about different things within the UK and his 10-year plan. I'm hoping to get him on a live stream soon. It amazes me the amount of things that people think a national governing body should be covering and be in charge of and help them out with, but also two, the level of sanction that they think they should have on things. It has to be, everything has to be agreeable to them. And I don't understand why that exists, because I've played the sport in other countries. I've played in Europe. It doesn't exist there. Everyone lets everyone just get on with it. And if the player's uninsured, someone that lives down in Cornwall, and doesn't go out of his house 4 days a week, is not going to bother himself about it, or shouldn't be, right? But in Britball, they're like, well, those poor lads, none of them are insured, and it just, I don't understand where that mentality and you could, I suppose you could say it was pride in the sport, but I think it's more than that. I think it's entitlement and ownership that people feel that they've got over something that is nothing to do with them. You wouldn't do it for a five-a-side tournament or a charity tournament. You know, you wouldn't do that. And I know the sport is dangerous, you know, and you do want to make sure things are done in a safe way, but I don't see how. I just don't get why someone is like everyone turns into like a detective and is trying to like put, it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase crabs in a bucket, but if you put crabs in a bucket, as one tries to crawl out, the other ones pull it back in. And so the idea is that, you know, anyone sort of puts their head above the parapet, someone tries to do something differently to the norm, someone else wants to pull him back in, and no, this is how we do it. You know, oh, you're going to ruin our refs, you're going to ruin this and that, and like, yeah, and I don't understand that mentality that exists in the game.
Why should someone in Swindon care what's going on in Chester?
Yes, that's what I'm just asking. Like,
yeah.
do you guys see that? Like, is that like, because I feel quite exposed to quite a lot of the sport, right? Because, you know, the journalism nature of Gridiron Hub, you know, and it's something I see all the time. All the time is like, you know, this like ownership of things that it just shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. Just get on with your day. Let us have this fun. Let us do this thing over here, and you can still play your sport your way. It doesn't impact you. You know, leave me alone, sort of thing.
The best way to describe the basically the summer is that chat right there every day. You just like, really? Why are you bothered? Why?
Why? Yeah.
In the other three charity games I've done, it started exactly the same way. I message the top chief in Baffa and say, "We're having a game. Are you interested?" They reply in exactly the same way. "No, but be aware it's not covered by insurance." And I go, Brilliant. So when you say, people, do you want to sign up? By the way, you're not covered by Baffa. Sort your own personal insurance out if you want to. Here's a waiver form. See you later. Yeah. No one was asked. This thing got, I think we're up to now about 200 something players, and me now saying, "I'm sorry, but we're full." They're like, No, you got too big now. No, we've got to intervene. No, we can't. And you're like, but why?
Yes, there's from the other side of it, and this is this is me and Mike's relationship to a T. There are so many people, not necessarily within Britball, but have been in Britball, that have been scammers. That I do understand why people can jump to that conclusion. Now, I also agree with you that the quickest of Facebook searches would have alleviated most of their problems with that, but people don't really bother with that. You know, why would you? Christ, Donald Trump got in based on these people, so, you know, let's not expect it's not the same over here. But there is, and the thing with the Baffa insurance is, like, I think a lot of it came about because no one knows anything about it. Yeah. You know, like until you guys started doing some stuff on the insurance and explaining a bit about it, up until that point, it was this mysterious document that everyone just assumed didn't cover you for anything, but no one had actually read.
Apart from swimming. Covered you for swimming.
Cool. And then, but the other thing, and do you know, I'm.
For what it's worth, can I just say, the new one's way better. So we had Steve Rains and Clive Dobbins on for a live stream. It was with Will, and I was watching it, and Clive made a really good point about this insurance. Right? He said, you know, we set the fees. You know, you pay your standard registration fee. Included in that is an amount of money, actually probably a disproportionate amount of money, and quite a lot of that money is siphoned off for the cover of the insurance, right? And he said, but you know, we've got to insure huge amounts of people doing an extremely violent sport, you know, with a high rate of injury, and
all we need is the basics covered. All you're going to get is the basics covered, because it doesn't make sense for us to, like, let's say we went for a next tier up or an all bells and whistles version. Well, would people then be happy paying double the registration fee? And I thought that's not a bad shout. Like, that's not a bad way of looking at it, and I respect that. But I do think they should be very clear on these are the things you're covered for, and I think with their recent update, very clear. But then also, if you are self-employed, we advise that you do this extra bit, for your income protection or whatever. But yeah, so I do think it's worth looking at it from the other side. I've never really like the whole insurance thing. I think is laughable, and people always point to it as like, as like a massive thing, like, oh, you can't pay a player because it voids the insurance. And I've never really cared about it myself. I've had really serious injury. I had to have knee surgery a few years back, about 6 years back, and never claimed on the insurance or anything. I just, it just doesn't, like, I'm not someone that it affects or it bothers. I don't care, but I know that people like to just mention that if someone insured or all that sort of stuff. So I get it. And I know there's legal cover and all this sort of stuff, but I think if insurance is such an important thing to you, then just pay a little bit more and get some yourself. When I played, and the same sort of stories you guys said about playing Thunder and Herd in Iceland, when I played for the Knights in the European games, we played in Oslo, we played in Zurich. Baffa, you wouldn't believe this, but Baffa's insurance didn't cover us, right? So we had to pay £8 or whatever a game to an insurance company, and that covered us for the game, and it was actually included in our travel insurance and everything, and it covered us to, it was just, that was fine, like I don't see what the issue is and why insurance is constantly like leveraged as a root of a problem or something that is stopping us doing things. It just, I don't know. I think it's a really strange thing that people want to focus on. I don't see the issue with someone paying a bit more and getting cover.
Firstly, the reason you didn't care was because you were sponsored by PA. So they just probably paid everything. You were all on like a
No, we didn't get our insurance. I don't think we got our insurance from PA. I can't remember.
Caviar and massages, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We travelled in luxury. Yeah, individual chauffeurs picking us up in Hummers at the airport. It was good. Couple of prostitutes.
Katie's getting involved in this through the Herd, and she's not on any of the Britball Facebook groups or anything, but she hears me and Mike chatting about it all the time, and she is blown away at just how much anyone cares. Like for exactly what you've been talking about, not caring in a good way. Like, she's like, I don't understand why you're all there just to tear each other down.
The sad bit being is there's a lot of folk out there that say because you pay insurance to Baffa own you. You're not allowed to do anything else, or you'll get fined for doing something.
Oh, is that true? Is there really a rhetoric out there?
A rumor that says if you go somewhere else, you're going to get fined for doing something else.
I'm reasonably certain on one of the... You remember when Baffa were putting out the monthly announcements, or they were pretty much monthly announcements about COVID? On one of them, when it was coming up to getting close to the game, I think, before you'd cancelled it, I remember reading that there was something on there about players were going to be fined.
Really?
Yeah. Mike does need a lot of rum, Chrissy. I think it would be good if he stood up and went and got some.
He's got some, I think.
I might nip out and get some in a bit. But no, well, that's the problem, is you've got the Grand High overlords of Baffa saying you can't do this because we'll fine you. How? In fact, you know what? I'm going to defer to my Scottish colleague in the top corner. How would they find people that played Neale?
Hey, thanks for throwing me in it. Can I clarify several points here? One, I am involved with Baffa, but I am not Baffa. Two, and I've said this to you before, and I will say to everyone that will listen, stop saying Baffa does. Right? Baffa is like 3 or 4 people, really, when you boil it down. That's it. All right, so people keep saying this BAFA as if it's some massive, huge organisation. It's like 4 people. You know, like stop making out that there's some sort of like big government conspiracy going on in BAFA to just ruin American football. It's like 4 people working their arse off to try and get something out. And like, is it perfect? No. But I can't see like all the people commenting on that Facebook stuff. I'll bet you now they ain't applying to help out BAFA with the jobs that BAFA put out. Because it's much easier to just sit and comment on Facebook than it is to do that. I don't know. I am not a player or a coach in a BAFA team, so I don't know anything about the refunds. Like, I paid my, was it 50 odd quid or something like that to BAFCA, and then just so I can coach GB and get the, because it's important for me as a coach to get the BAFCA insurance, because that's like way more. Because that's like, you know, that's if a player wants to sue me, then there's some sort of fallback in that. So the coaches one's really important. As a player, you should definitely get your own. But I legitimately cannot comment on.
Nelly, you can't just tell me to piss off. You know that.
I've told you to piss off on several occasions, but I was. This anti-disestablishmentarianism that you're coming out with, Mike, I don't like it, and it needs to stop. Just leave me alone.
That doesn't make sense, but okay.
Hey, you know I love
Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Mike is
anti-disestablishmentarianism is the people against the church.
Oh.
Well, okay, but look, it doesn't matter.
So,
it's 5-2, and that's the end of it.
You just wanted to say a really long word.
Well, it was just the one that was on my screen next to me. You know,
But yeah, it should. But the tall and short of it is, you know, it'll be next October, the 8th, 9th, 10th. It's going to be a lot of laughs. We're running it over 3 days. Sorry, you can just say no, Nelbert.
No, it's the fact that Mike has organised like 2 games, right? So the what was it, the Sith versus the Jedi that I played in?
It was either it was that.
It was a Jedi. So he organised that on my first wedding anniversary. So my wife was delighted about that. The game this year was meant to be on our 4th wedding anniversary, and it got cancelled. And now he set it up over my birthday next year. Like,
that's cool.
Just pick any other date. Like, he knows when my birthday is. This isn't a new thing to him, and he must know when my anniversary is because he screwed it over twice. Pick a weekend in between.
I just wanted you near me. If you want a birthday present, you've got to come and get it.
Well, apparently Amazon doesn't know where my house is.
Oh, jeez. That was terrible.
So I hear that there's a lot of shenanigans and fun that goes on with these tours. And actually, there was a comment, I'm pretty sure it was Wayne that said it.
Oh, God.
Let me find it.
Oh,
You're talking about milk.
So the milk thing, yeah. Tell me about the milk thing, because I've seen. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Mike. Have I seen a Facebook post of you in a bath of milk?
No.
Or in a bath drinking milk?
Oh yeah, probably.
Right. The bath of milk was Eddie, wasn't it?
I've had Guinness in Bath. I've had beer in Bath. I don't know.
No, but Ben Peddy done the video of when he was in the bath of milk.
Christ, yeah. Yeah, that was Ben.
This is what Wayne Drew said.
The leche.
What happens in Iceland stays in Iceland. He didn't like the fact that you were maybe revealing a bit too much, but that's exactly what I want you to do. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was there he is. But yeah, this is
Irish boys, wasn't it?
The Irish boys. When we went out on the first time to Reykjavik, whenever someone got absolutely snotted, the Irish gentleman would shout from the sideline, he needs some milk, from the humorous meme of the fella, he bounced off the car and hits the deck and goes, oh,
and the woman shouts out, he needs milk. Yeah.
That's it. So that became our little thing. So anytime someone gets snotted or hit hard, that's what we shout out. And it became a little bit, because that's the other cute thing about the herd is it's a load of folk that there's no way some of these people would have ever met each other. But
Yeah.
now you meet each other, and then once a year you get to go out with your pals, have a few beers with them, and talk crap. And you kind of the first thing. So what have you been up to this year? And you get to read, and all the way through the years, we have little daft things in the lead up to it. I do little competitions, and you win oddballs, pants, that sort of stuff. And and it's just that it's bringing folk together, and that's what we do. We just have a bit of a laugh, and a lot of people come in, and you make a load of new mates you would never have had. And it's really cute. And the cute thing about the other charity tournament is that it's a lot of folk in a group chat. And it's a massive Facebook group that keep on. That's the reason why a lot of people are taking the dropping comments on this, is because they're all tuned in, just having a bit of a laugh at my expense.
I was going to say it showed the culture it shows. There's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of ribbing, but people enjoying themselves is what I'm sort of getting, right? Like, do we still have a picture of the T-shirt where we were gonna do for Curtis?
Can't possibly comment on that.
No, that is censored information. That is locked in.
Right. One question I do have. This is a more business focused one. So you said when it was when Thunder and Herd jerseys by Alpha, but the latest Schneider Cup you've gone Ridge.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just gonna. Let me. Sorry, just for those that can't see it, give me a sec, mate.
He is a
There we
go. Him and James Haskell are the two people that you should employ if you want to get a brand out there. He's just unbelievable.
But no, it's your man Dario. In fact, Nelly, this is all your fault. He came onto a group chat and said, Dario, Mike is going to do a charity game. Here he is. And then Nelly left the chat. And so is me speaking to a man who my nickname's always been Fling Stang. So I always put in my place as I am from a place in Stang in France. So this poor French gentleman comes on and goes, you are French. You are from France. And I was like, I had to explain. No, it's a gag, mate. No, it's not. I'm from Chester. And so he was like, but I do not understand. And I'm like, sorry, Dario, we've had your pants down here a little bit. I'm awful sorry.
Dario is like, I got put on him by Rich Wurzel. So he's like, he kitted out the entire Laverne squad, like coaches and players with gear in the States. And I was looking at stuff as a bit of a project for like GB in the future of like, speak to EP, speak to Football America, Reg, Alpha, all of them, and just see what we can get. And then I started speaking to Dario, and Dario is, let's call it persistent. Wants to sell, and is like, but he will sort you out. But he is very persistent, and so that's why I kind of dropped my I went, Mike, here's Dario, and then. Yep, see you later. Like, I don't need this pinging at 4 a.m. in the morning when Dario was like, "We made a decision yet? How much red camouflage can I get in this jersey?"
Yeah, he loves the big thing with Dario after he's tried to speak to me in French and then left. So what do you want? Do you want digital camo on this, or do you want digital camo on that, or do you want digital camo? And I was like, nah, we just want blue for Europe. We want red, white, something like that for the USA. With digital camo, I will give you digital. do know? And he said, yeah, but that's what everybody wants, isn't it? Dario, I like you because you've dealt with all of my bullshit so far, but calm it down, please. And he came up with some absolutely awesome jerseys. They are decent quality. And the thing is I have to do a little pitch for him because bless him, he's been fantastic. Because I'm not, I am the quacker. I'll be like, ooh, I've thought of something else. Can we do something else? And he's like, So, yeah, he's all the way through. He said, right, here you go. And when I dropped, I think it was 180 jerseys on him saying, there's the order. He just went, right, okay, here it is, sent off. and that was that done. And then I said, well, can we add some more on, because there was an error in admin. And
I was going to say, it's interesting you said that. You ordered 180 jerseys, but you've got 200 players. What happened there, Mike?
Well, there was some that we added on later, and there was some like a Mr. Stuart Cooper that ordered 4 jerseys and got back.
Got none.
He got none, bless him. He ordered 1 of each, and I ordered none for Coops. And whereas, that was a kind of I had to drop that in that same Facebook group of so who wants their shirts delivering? He comes down halfway down. Me, please, not you, Coops. So, it was the only way I could basically say, I done messed up.
Yeah.
That never happened on my watch. I'm just saying.
But,
outside of Dario being persistent, the design you're pleased with, the quality of the goods you're pleased with, and they've been pretty good. Like, so with this issue that you had with Coops, did Dario come to the rescue? Did he
straight away?
Did he sort you out?
Yeah, straight away. I put a second order in, and I think it's on its way all the way in. I would go and demonstrate this, but alas, my legs don't work. So you'll have to. There it is. Very pretty.
No, like they are legit quality. They are like,
oh yeah,
the kind of the top end Nike ones, like stretchy.
Mm.
They're not like the old material with all the holes in it. They're like proper t-shirt stuff, and they're ace jerseys, top of the line.
And so I'm made up, absolutely made up, and he's done all the trousers arrived today. And,
he's got lowers as well.
He's got the full head.
What about and socks? Have you? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just jerseys.
No, like when I say he kitted out Laverne team, like he gave those coaches got like 2 pairs of trainers, 2 pairs of trousers, 3 pairs of shorts, however many long sleeve and short sleeve t-shirts, hoodies, hats, the works. I think Mike McGugan might be onto something there. I don't.
He's been persistent tonight, Mike. He's been quite funny.
Yeah. So. Sorry, Chrissy. But so he's come up trumps, and he's a good egg. And his worst moment his most heartbreaking moment was when the lockdown kicked in, and he said, "But I can't come over and get wrecked, and I can't come over and drink your warm English beer." So when I said we're moving it to next year, you come over on the Friday neat. We have Saturday and Sunday of games, and in between them, you can get a little bit soddled. Buffet, marvelous.
Yeah.
Go on, lad. You can come over, drink wine, and eat cheese, and do whatever else Frenchmen do.
Well, wouldn't he be coming over here to do stuff that Englishmen do?
Well, we'll like kind of drink Guinness, lose the trousers, and fall asleep in a fountain. That's isn't it?
That's what we're hoping for. Yeah.
Isn't that what everyone does? So
cool.
He's come up trumps, but that was the thing is he said kind of right, it's flat rate including all the posters and that was all part of the opening sort of chat that I put out there. It was 35 quid for that. It was 2 quid for a trophy, and the rest of it boom straight off to charity. So there was no sort of conniving. There was no sneaking in.
Well, how much are you looking to raise? Have you got a target for this charity fundraiser element to it?
Well, that's the bit that Wayne was talking about when me and Lee were on that other podcast. It's hopefully we're trying to raise enough. Hello, love. To kind of put everyone on this course that is complete. What is it? Yeah, it's basically anti-suicide assist course, anti-suicide and skills training. We only need, I think we need $3,000. We've got 2.5 now, so it should be a good do. And hopefully, because we're getting it filmed, live streamed, and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, are you?
Onside are coming down. Yeah, they're
good. That'd be awesome.
So we're going to do a Just Giving page. So the whole thing is hopefully going to be boxed off. We'll raise a few quid. And then I did something silly, and I may have created a second side of the Schmider that not a lot of people know about yet. No.
I think I know about this, but go on. I think I know about it.
Right. The Andrew Chandler I mentioned before, he's a proper good egg. Spoke to the brewery and they said, right, we're going to give you about 4 or 5 barrels of Brooklyn Lager. You sell it, and whatever profit you make, that's yours. So that'll boost us up. So we've made the second side of the Schmider Cup is the Brooklyn Bowl. So
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I did know this. Flag teams. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, cool. Sorry,
So,
go on.
Flag teams, if there's a flag team that wants to play or if anything like that, we're going to have, because the Cheshire County Sports Club's got one pitch there that we're going to set up the cameras on. There's another pitch right here, all 3G, all very pretty. We're just going to have the 2 sides, and we're going to have a full charity flag tournament going on, like a league. The top 4 go over to the main pitch and they get televised, because all the games on the Sunday are going to get televised. So I don't think flag's been on the telly much, if at all. So,
yeah, there was a little bit, but yeah, it's very limited exposure.
But Onside are going to run it as, we're going to have like our first game, we're going to have a flag game, our second game, then another 2 flags, and then their grand final will all be televised. And on the other pitch on the Sunday, they'll be playing out the rest of the league. And then you've got like a secondary sort of kind of competition going on there for a secondary prize. Alfredo, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
Everyone wants. So there's the 2 sides of it now, but hopefully we should smash. He's still alive.
He's back. Pretty cool. Has he actually been on our castle and come back?
Yes, we do.
I don't know.
It's brilliant.
He should be here.
Get on. Your spoon.
Oh, it's brilliant. Sorry, I just had a. I know that I didn't mean this to steal. Oh, Tish to steal your thunder there, but your thunder.
Right.
But,
so that's the whole gig. Is we should be able to, if we can raise enough from flag teams coming in and playing, and just giving and what we've already got, we may be able to put on a couple of these courses or whatever's left over. We'll just give to the charity mind. Yeah,
well, let obviously keep in touch, because we'll we'll promote stuff as always. But we recently have joined. Recently Hail Mary Hits has joined Gridiron Hub, so we're getting more and more money in to put to good causes, things within the game. So there's every. What I've said to the guys, the members of Hail Mary Hits, is like what I want them to do is like help come to an agreement on what the money's spent on, rather than it just being a solo person. So, but what we can do is around that time sort of pitch the idea to them. We can get you on and have a chat with people on live stream, and just sort of see if they're interested. I'm sure they will, and we'll put some money in, and we'll back it as well. Good. But yeah, with your profit from the beer you're selling, I assume that means you're going to be 10-15 quid a beer, right?
Oh, easy.
Yeah, man, it's up north.
I was going to say this is the north.
£7.50 is expensive up there.
So it'll just be, the problem is that Tony Laura's Tish has been Tony.
He was brilliant as well.
Tony's the guy who set up the Blue Raiders as well back in the day. So right. Tony, and he runs him and Ollie run the Raiders UK page. So right. Tony knows Tish really well. So when Tish made a brief yet exciting appearance on this thing tonight.
Yeah, but dropped off for no reason, and hasn't come back in, even though he can, and has decided to comment in the chat.
I was gutted. He only went from Canada to Australia to America. We didn't see Europe. He's still there.
Did he not?
He's still there. Tish.
Back one.
Hit the link, Tish. Come back for the
He's got his jersey because he came and picked it up.
I thought he had. Did he not go through all 4? Did he only do 3 of them?
I think he only did.
Oh, he didn't do his Europe one, did he?
Nah, he's got it though.
Yeah. Bless him.
That's hilarious. Right, I do want to wrap this up because we've been going almost an hour and a half now. Just quickly before we do some like closing thing, I just want to do a quick plug for something. So give me a sec.
Is it GB under 19 and how awesome they are?
Yes.
Go.
No. It is that we do on Gridiron Hub. We do these fundraising raffles. So we've got 2 going at the moment. This one's for a PlayStation 5 console. We're going to draw it in 2 days' time on Friday night. It's £3 a ticket, and all the money that gets raised for this, any profit, obviously we need to cover our costs, goes to this thing here, the Amelie Fund, which is our fund that all of our money goes into from Gridiron Hub that we then pay out to fund different initiatives. So for example, the money that we got that goes to the Schmeider Cup, or whatever, however you want to frame it, that your good cause, your mental health good cause, that will come from the Amelie Fund. So so they're fully licensed. I just wanted to sort of give them a plug. We've got one for the PS5, one for the Xbox Series X. If you go to Gridiron Hub's website, you'll find them under the Amelie Fund and raffles. Really appreciate anyone doing this. So to date, between us and Hail Mary Hits, over the last 2 years, me and Mark were trying to calculate it, but it's about £47,000 that we've given away from all of the various raffles, right? And it's something we're going to continue doing. I'm actually looking at doing a thing where, so at the moment we've sort of community made community driven that type of funding. So the money that goes into the pot from those ticket sales, we want the Hail Mary Hits guys to sort of help decide where it gets spent. But we're also looking at another way of bringing money in and actually automatically giving money to Britball clubs as part of it. So it's like a new revenue stream for clubs in Britball. We're the idea is solid, the idea will work. I just need to work on some development for it. So Gridiron Hub's actually getting a rebrand soon. So there's a lot of stuff going on that has to happen prior to we get into this point. I just wanted to sort of push that stuff, let you plug to the people that are watching. There's loads more to come from Gridiron Hub, or what the new Gridiron Hub is going to be called, which I'm not going to let you guys know yet. The idea is that, for me, from my end, and the thing that drives me, all of my involvement in the game, is that I want it to grow and develop. I feel that my generation of players should have been able to play professionally in the UK. And this is something that I shared with Pete when I spoke to him last week, was like, the sport had been around 20 odd years when sort of I was in my prime, and there's really no excuse. Like if you look at Poland, for example, I can remember going over to Poland and training their national champions after, I think, their second or third season. We couldn't hold a candle to their league now. They've got their own stadiums, all sorts. So I'm all like, one of the things that drives me in what I'm doing with Gridiron Hub is the growth of the game, the development of the sport, and I'm looking at ways through Gridiron Hub and its new version of how do we bring commercialization. How does commercialization benefit the sport and the growth of it? So I can't give away too much, but I wanted to sort of spend some time talking about that. Well, just plugging it quickly. I will reveal a lot more as time goes on, when the time's right. But for now, we've just got the raffles running. They've been doing a good job, building money up, but soon, hopefully, it'll be a lot more regular and some more prominent stuff that we're doing. But anyway, enough about me. Will said Gridiron Pub. Will thinks it's hilarious that he's come up with this pun, Gridiron Pub. It's awful. No, it's not Gridiron Pub.
He can go and create Gridiron Pub.
Yeah, I said to him, that's fine. Yeah. So right, closing statements from you guys. What I'd like to know is the thing that you're most proud of that you've done to date in football.
I'll let Nelly go first.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
Because you've done well. I'm just a dick from the north.
And it can be anything, but football related, and you know that you're the most proud of.
It would be genuinely would be playing the games with the herd abroad, because I haven't done anything with GB yet. Like, since I've been head coach, we haven't played a game or done anything yet. So, like, we've had 3 practices, but being appointed that head coach is pretty cool. But doing the two games that I organised and then seeing the third one was pretty cool.
Cool. Cheers, Neale. And Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. It's always nice to kind of help him out, but it was his sort of brainchild for doing it in the beginning. It's just the charity stuff. I'm made up that I can kind of do a bit, put a bit back, and raise a few quid, and all that was pretty impressive. When I had a lead block from Cy Wainwright and scored my only TD in my career.
Cy actually lead blocked you for the TD. Brilliant.
There is a video out there where we both wave to the camera like that, and then the ball comes to me. I basically fall forward for about 5 yards, stand up and go, "Ooh, I've scored," which was nice. Yeah. The thing is, me and Cy go way back. My other proudest moment before that was when I basically played DT, swung off a guard at a centre like that, and then he went through, sacked it. We won. We beat South Wales Warriors in 2006, and everyone went bananas. And I went, "I'm sorry, lads, I've just swung off you there." And yeah, he's killed him. And I was like, and they went, "Oh, it's all right, don't worry about
it." I think I was still at school then.
Oh, it's all right. I'm aware I'm very, very, very old.
2006 was when I started playing in the UK.
All right.
Nice. Yeah.
Just your guard, Nelly.
The 06 draft class is fairly famous in East Kilbride. 06 was the year I joined East Kilbride.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but like everyone, Hunter joined that year, Rab joined that year. Spoonie joined that year. The 06 draft class, man. Legendary. We've got our own way of helmets and everything.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I've got some fond memories of playing in 2006. So, like, my first game for the Knights was against Team USA, the real Team USA, not your one, Mike.
Not my fault.
Not your scam Team USA. You swine. That was over in Las Vegas. Played in the Sam Boyd Stadium, which is the University of Las Vegas Stadium. That was quite cool. And then my second game was in Aldershot Park. Just completely different, but actually still not a domestic UK game. It was against what were they called? Eidsvoll Trolls. It was my first European game. So so there's always quite memorable. It was like my first 3 games. One was in the US. One was against the US team. One was against a Norwegian team, and then the first game domestically would have been against. I think it was the Exiles we played as the first game that season. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. That was always quite memorable for me. Like, my introduction into sport in the UK was actually like quite multicultural. But it was good. But anyway, guys, we'll end it here, and I really appreciate you coming in. And it was only supposed to be me and Mike chatting, and then Mike was like, "Let me bring everyone else in." And I really appreciate the fact that at such short notice you did it. It's it's always good. It's always good to have more people on and having a bit of a laugh. And you guys are welcome back anytime. And like I said, and I keep trying to push this through different connections that we're making. And as Gridiron Hub is sort of growing, is if you guys have got any initiatives or any ideas that you ever want to run by us, or you want us to get help out with or get involved with, then let us know. We're the idea is that we're part of the community. We help drive the good behaviour in it, and want to grow the game, and hopefully we'll continue to do so. So if there's ever anything you want us, even if it's just, can you share this thing on Gridiron Hub, that's cool. But if you want to come back on and chat, chew the fat with me or Will or whoever, just let me know. So I really appreciate your time. And yeah, both of you guys, good luck with your efforts. It's really cool hearing about it. Mike, obviously looking forward to seeing the Schmeider Cup going ahead next year. And Nelly, you know, really looking forward to seeing what you do with our boys, our GB under-19s, mate. And good luck with it.
Thanks very much.
No, you're welcome,
Cheers,
mate.
bud.
Really appreciate it, guys. All right, cool. I'm going to end this one here. All right. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.